Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another 7 days 7 perfumes, but it's going to be very different from the other ones that I've done before. Today I'm going to be sharing with you, actually, you know what, I shouldn't call this 7 days 7 perfumes, but I should call it like 7 different perfumes I'm going to talk about today. These are like super duper popular, so I want to share my thoughts and opinions on them with you because I've tried every single one of them out and I can tell you how I feel about them. Please keep in mind, these are not in-depth reviews, in the sense like I have owned samples and decants and travel sprays of these, so I haven't owned full bottles, and some of them I will be owning full bottles of, specifically just one. The other 6 I still want to share my opinions on, but I will tell you that I'm not going to be purchasing full bottles for myself. So in case you're wondering, let's jump right into it and let me tell you what these 7 perfumes are. Starting with first, this is the only one that I see myself actually buy a full bottle of, and that is Zara Pink Flambe. If you did not know this already, Zara, it's actually, if I'm going to be honest, I didn't know this for a while, but Zara has actually been replicating, I don't want to use the word copying, but I want to use the word replicating a lot of designer and niche fragrances for a while. So I would say 70 to 80% of their collection is replications of other famous designer and niche perfumes. One of them is Zara Pink Flambe, which is an inspired version, or rather I should say a copied version of Viva la Juicy Couture. Now this is a fragrance that is very near and dear to my heart because it was probably one of the first, like I bought 2 together, so it was one of my first designer fragrance purchases. It's one that I fell in love with the scent, and I bought it back in the day when I was much younger and also had a smaller income, and I spent close to like 25% of this income on this specific fragrance. So it was a very big deal to me, but I loved the fragrance so freaking much that I had to buy it. Then I discovered that it's not really worth the money because of how not long lasting it is. It would hardly last for like an hour or 2 and then it's gone, so you have to keep reapplying it, and for such an expensive fragrance I felt like it was not worth the money. So then I was like, okay, I really love the scent still, and I continued wearing it because I had purchased it, and I discovered that I absolutely love it. I just don't want to spend the full price on it again, but it is something that I would want to repurchase, or I would have to have the same scent again. And then I discovered that Zara Pink Flambe exists, and I bought a decant of it and I used it, and I would say it is very similar, but it's got a little bit more of a freshness in the opening when you first spray it on, and then it definitely becomes more similar to Viva la Juicy as it dries down. So for me, it's a pretty good alternative, and it is actually one that I have considered buying a full bottle for myself because I absolutely freaking love this so much. So once I use up my Viva la Juicy stash that I have left, I will be repurchasing Zara Pink Flambe. So that was the first fragrance I wanted to talk about. The second one is DKNY's Be Delicious. This is the green apple bottle, and I was actually hoping that this, because it looks like green apple, it's also going to smell like a green apple, but unfortunately it's actually not. This smells more like a cucumber mojito to me as compared to a green apple mojito. So I find it a little bit misleading, especially because all the DKNY fragrances have that apple packaging, so it's super duper cute, but it is definitely misleading. So if anyone has been drawn to the packaging because of that, I just want to give you this heads up in case you are looking at purchasing it. That's all that I want to say from my side. I don't really want to smell like a cucumber mojito, so I would not be spending that kind of cash on this. Moving on, next, a very popular fragrance out there in the market is Flowerbomb by Viktor and Rolf, and I have a very in-depth opinion and first impressions that I've written down, so I'm going to read that out to you. Initially it has a smoky touch but a little bit of warmth which develops later, and the smokiness goes away, and later it becomes deeper and sweeter. I can definitely tell why people consider it to be a sexy perfume, which is suitable for evenings and going out. but it's not really date night appropriate in my opinion, even though other people consider it to be a date night scent. So this is something that I wrote a while back, because I got that decant again a while back, and I still stand by what I said. This one is like a smoky black opium to me. Let's just say it. I would rather wear black opium on a date, even though people find it to be like, you know, just a basic scent. I actually really like black opium. I'm one of those people who does like it, and I would wear it for evenings, I would wear it for night outs. I would not wear Flowerbomb because of that smokiness that is there in Europe. So Flowerbomb is not going to be my personal recommendation or perfume that I would like, and that I would end up owning at any point. That being said, I really like Ruby Orchid, from Flowerbomb. That one is definitely more up my speed as compared to the OG Flowerbomb. So just in case you're wondering. Then moving on, next, another popular fragrance is Lancome Idole. This is one that I thought about speaking about La Vie Belle, but I don't want to speak about La Vie Belle because I haven't actually smelled that fragrance itself. I've smelled a red vanilla, which is supposed to be a dupe of it again. So did not like it, do not really care. That being said, I really like the bottle and the packaging of Lancome Idole. I'm speaking about the Le Parfum version over here, and this is one that is your classic, very unique packaging. It's like super thin, like paper thin. Looks so pretty, and of course you will not be able to store it like your regular bottles. You have to store it like sleeping on your counter, which could be a little bit difficult, but it's just such a beautiful packaging. So I was like, I don't even mind that hassle. I just want to smell it and see if I like the fragrance. This to me reminds me of like someone who's in pastel colors, or like wearing a full white suit, like a boss woman kind of a suit, and she is not in office, she's not working, but she is going around the mall, shopping, having a good time, going for a pedicure, a manicure, or she is just going out for like brunch with her girlfriends, or just that entire vibe. I feel like that kind of woman would be wearing a Lancome Idole. It's just a very nice, fresh, feminine. It's not a super sweet floral. It's definitely a signature scent for someone again in their 30s or 40s, and it's also all weather appropriate. That's what I have written down when I was writing this down, and I still remember what the scent smells like. To me, it's just not something that I would personally gravitate to wearing every single day. Also, I would suggest, if you want to get this, I would recommend you to try Crock and Roll by Masaba. It's not the same scent, but I feel like both the scents have the same vibe. I just think that they do, so I would highly recommend that you get that one instead. Try it out and see if you like it, and if you like the vibe, you might like the vibe of Lancome Idole as well. But personally, I would not be getting a full bottle just for myself. Moving on, next, another very famous fragrance, which is from the house of Lancome as well. This is La Nuit Tresor, and there are a lot of different versions. I am just speaking about the original. I know the a la Folie version also has a lot of people who love it, and I might actually like it. I've wanted to get a decant or a sample of that version, but it's just never available. So I'm speaking about the OG La Nuit Tresor. This is, you guys, probably one of the strongest fragrances that I've ever tried personally. I've also tried Nishane Annie, which I think is also very strong, but this is like strong in the sense it'll possibly give you a headache. And I'm saying this as someone who loves a lot of sweet fragrances, but this just felt like too much. The first time I wore it, I was like, I wish I had not worn this, because now this is going to give me a headache for a couple of hours. It is so strong. Please do not overspray this. I am an oversprayer, and I'm telling you, do not overspray this. You'll probably choke and die. That's how strong it is. And it is a very jammy, mature, feminine fragrance. I would recommend just spraying the tiniest bit of this, and that's going to be enough. some of the Montal and Mancera fragrances I also feel like are very, very strong, just like this. And this is like your designer, super strong, jammy fragrance. Again, it was just too much. I wouldn't personally recommend it. It was just too much. Moving on, next we have Zadig and Voltaire's This Is Her. Another very popular fragrance, and I was really hoping I would like it. I bought a decant of it to try it out, and I would say this is a very sweet, comforting fragrance. But it's got like a dusty, slightly powdery, but not like sweet marshmallow powder. It's more like a old building powder. You know, like the dustiness of an old building. It kind of smells like that. And as it dries down, I don't really like it. I feel like initially I liked it when I first sprayed it on, but then as it continued to dry down, I did not like it so much. So again, this is one a lot of people own, recommend, and really like. Personally, it was just not for me. And to end it out, I want to speak about Zara Apple Juice. Again, this is supposed to be a dupe or an alternative for DKNY's Be Delicious. So I already spoke about that fragrance, and I'm going to tell you, this one I feel like is even more underwhelming than DKNY Be Delicious, because it's just a very simple, like a soapy, clean, fresh kind of a scent. In Be Delicious from DKNY, you still get that cucumber mojito. In this one, you don't even get cucumber mojito. So I would say if you wanted to get Zara Apple Juice, rather get like the blue Adidas EDP fragrance, which I have owned in the past. I feel like those are just the same, and Zara is actually more expensive than Adidas. So yeah, would not recommend this particular fragrance at all. I just think it's a little too expensive for it is. It's just a simple, you know, cheap freshie. So yeah, those are all the fragrances that I wanted to speak about. I have seen each of these fragrances get attention for years, and also a lot of these are spoken about on Instagram these days. So I wanted to actually share with you my thoughts and opinions, because if you've been scrolling on reels and you've been seeing these fragrances and they've been appealing to you and you're thinking, should I buy this, should I buy that, maybe my opinion might help. I don't know, I hope it does. So that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Until next time, bye bye.